Thank you for tuning in to the TNB Fans Only Show. Share your experience, give your opinion, allow your voice to be heard. If you want to be on the podcast or become a content creator, visit thenudeblog.com/apply. Before we get started, this show contains adult language. Now, let's get on to the show.
This call is now being recorded.
All right, introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everybody? My name is Neiko. I am 19. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's cool. You're 19, so you've been to college or anything?
Yes, I did attend Howard University in Washington, D.C. I majored in film, and yeah, I went for like a semester and then decided to come back, and I do plan on going back, sometime in the future, within the next year, maybe two.
Oh, that's cool. So you were going for film, so you're trying to be like an adult porn star or something?
Nah, maybe the Hollywood route.
So not those type of films, huh?
Nah, at least not yet.
No, I understand. So HBCU, what was your experience like with the HBCU?
I think HBCUs are some of the best universities to go to as far as like the experience, because one thing about HBCUs is that everybody is proud of their HBCU. I don't care what HBCU they are from, they will think that their university is the best university in the whole world, and it's just great. The pride is just amazing.
Oh no, you're definitely right about that. I didn't go to a HBCU, but I mean, even to this day, you have all these old heads around here still supporting their fraternity.
Right,
they Q dogs and all the stuff, the Divine Nine, and so a lot of people live that life, so and take great pride in the college they go to. What made you want to get into film?
I've just always been into like just productions in general. When I was younger, I'd always loved to watch movies, watch concerts, like just any type of production. Like I was into it, and then as I got older, I just kind of homed in on like the whole like movie and film stuff.
No, that's awesome. I think it's cool to be able to have a vision and then to be able to act it out or visualize it.
Yeah.
That's one thing about me. Like I can't draw anything at all. Like I can't put a pen to a paper or pencil to paper and come up with anything but a stick figure.
Right.
So I'm always envious of people who have that creative talent and to be able to execute it. Art is definitely appreciated for sure.
Yeah, and I've just always had a great appreciation for art in general, because my sister, she's an artist as well. And I've just always like admired that, and my like form of self-expression is just film.
No, that's definitely awesome. So how else was your experience at HBCU? I'm pretty sure you ran into some interesting people.
Yeah, lots of different people. It was interesting. One thing I would say about Howard is the fashion is pretty different from the South. Pretty different than the South. In the South, in the North, it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's just different, and I am a big fashion person, so like I really like I don't know, I just like to dress well. I like to see people who are dressed well. It's just pretty lit. As far as the people, I would say it's a lot of the LGBT community is very big. DC in itself already has a pretty large LGBT community, and I mean it's just quite an experience as well, because there's people from all over the country that go to universities like Howard and stuff like that. So it's a great variety of people.
I can imagine just because sometimes I think about like people who go to Morehouse, and of course Morehouse is not like a gay school, but I couldn't personally imagine like you being a straight guy and you finally get away from home and you go to another all male school, and so it's like, man, maybe you want to go to all male school, or maybe there's a higher percentage of gay people that go to these schools and you're not. And then also the second part I think about, and I think about weird stuff, so just like I always think about weird stuff, but just the fact that like you are off at school, and for a lot of people it's like their first independence, and so now you're on this campus with a lot of other people who are also having their first time away from home, and you're in a dorm room, and I could just imagine the craziness that happens in those dorm rooms, especially around a bunch of freshmen.
Oh yeah, and that's the beautiful part about college. You know, it's a lot of people just trying shit, you know, just trying stuff. And I mean, I know a lot of people who have had some pretty interesting experiences. I've even had some pretty interesting experiences myself. Like, I had this one roommate, and like, I don't know, he was hella suspect, and it was a very interesting experience. Like, just dealing with him, and even just hearing different stories about people, it's just crazy.
And what way was he suspect?
He was one of those. Okay, just off the jump, I already knew he was like DL in some way, whether he was like gay, bi, I don't know what he was, but I just knew. You could just tell. And like, what really confirmed it for me was just his notion to assert his masculinity. And it was just so interesting to me, because it was just like in no way did I ever bring up anything. Like, he's the one who brought up everything about like, oh, that's gay, like, well, it's just gay shit, you know. He's the one who always brought it up. But like, it was just so interesting because it's like, have you ever seen those memes where it's like nobody and then me, and like it would be like nobody and then him, that's gay. I'd be like, bro, like what did that have to do with anything?
He was that's gay guy, like everything he saw, like that's gay, or
right. Like, I ain't in like gay shit type stuff. I'd be like, bro, like, come on now.
Yeah, no, those be like the most suspect people, because it's like you spend all this time looking for gay shit. Like, maybe maybe you really are. You so attuned to it. It's kind of like the whole gaydar thing. It's like you kind of have to be gay to have gaydar, because it's the nuances, it's the small things about people that kind of trigger your thoughts that they may be gay or not. And so a lot of these DL people have gaydar. Exactly.
And it's funny because like straight men they have no type of gaydar, because it'll look like their homie, their best friend will be gay and they will never know it, and it'll be so obvious to a gay person, but to them it's just like, oh, that's my homie, you know.
Right.
Hilarious, man.
But I think it's interesting too, just because I feel like, and I'm not one of those people that say that, you know, everybody is gay, or just because you've done something with a guy that makes you gay. That's not where I personally believe or come from. But at the same time, I do think that a lot of guys are more open, or have done stuff with other guys, than they kind of lead on to believe. And I think that's why a lot of guys are open up to it. So a lot of times you'll get a guy in a situation where maybe you are roommates with them, and maybe they've been open to doing something or done something in the past, but they may not be willing to like ask directly. But so they'll like drop hints, or they'll like come in and they'll be like half naked.
Right. Yeah. He used to do that shit. I used to be like, okay, now, like.
So yeah, you be like laying on the bed and they'll come in. Next thing you know, they drop the towel and they just butt naked, and they just swinging things around. And
it's funny because that exact situation happened to me. Like, I remember I was in there and like he came from his shower. First of all, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else, but I'm gonna finish this story first. But he came back from the shower, and I guess he thought I was asleep or something, because I was just laying in the bed or whatever. And I noticed he came in like with the towel on. I'm like, okay, you know, he just came back from the shower. But then I was like, wait, so like I know he doesn't have anything on under there, so like where is he gonna change at? Because it's just one room, like there's no like separate areas, like so I was like, he just gonna take the towel off. So he just took the towel off, and I was just like, oh, okay, so that's what we doing now. And so like I was just like, okay, and so he changed or whatever, and like. That was just interesting to me because it was just like the fact that like because most people that I know, they will like come in with a towel on, but they'll have like some underwear on like underneath or whatever. But he just didn't have nothing on, so I was like, okay. And then like the funny part about it is that because I had ended up telling him that I was like gay or whatever, because at that point I was just like done. I was just like tired of him like talking about, oh, I ain't on that gay shit type stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm gay. You know, I was just like, let me just put it out there. And so like he was like, no, he's like, are you serious, blah 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 blah, trying to act all offended and shit like that. But I was like, bro, like, but you just literally just like changed it, like just was butt ass naked in front of me the other day and didn't say shit. And then the other story I wanted to talk about was when we were both in the shower. Like I was in the shower and he was in the shower across from me, and like this dude wanted to sit up here and like talk about, you need some soap, and like he's like looking at me because like I had like opened my curtain a little bit because I was like done, I was trying to like dry off or whatever. He would have sit up here and peek his head outside his curtain and then like be like, bro, you need some soap, and he's just looking at me and I'm like, bro, like you want to do all that talking and then like just do some shit like that? Like, come on now, you gotta stay consistent.
You know he was waiting on you to drop the soap.
right you gotta stay consistent, man.
He was waiting on you to drop the soap so you could bend over. That's definitely what that was. But no, you're right. It's just a lot of, I mean, I won't call him gay. If you don't call yourself gay, I won't call you gay. But just a lot of suspect type situations out there for sure.
But honestly, I feel like everybody got a little bit of gay in them, like just a little percentage. Like,
I won't call it gay, but I would say that given if you're put in a certain situation, you will try just about anything. Right. Where there's peer pressure or you know whatever. If you're put into that situation, that you'll try just about anything. And I think as we grow older, we kind of learn these social norms in quotations, and those social norms is what keep us from experimenting and keeping us from not just sexual experimentation, but just experimenting in general. Like we become hardened to this is the way the world works and this is the only way we should do things, and it kind of locks people into just being the same as everybody else, like a robot. Right. And so that's kind of my personal beliefs, and I know it's very different than a lot of people, but
no, I'm with you on that, honestly.
But I do think like if you was locked on an island and nobody was around, and some things might happen. Nobody might never knows. No cameras, no cell phone. Like, we could do that, but no. Did you go to any like gay parties or anything like while you were there?
I was invited to a sex party, but I didn't end up going because I know how people are in that city, and I was just like, yeah, no. And I knew some of the people that were going, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely not. Like, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing something like that if I knew the people and I knew like everybody was clean. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but like. Yeah, I just knew, but I feel like sexual health is very important, especially in the gay community, because a lot of people don't know. Like you'll be surprised how many people are just not like educated when it comes to like sexual health, and so like I just knew like I didn't want to put myself in that situation, because anytime it's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, it's always that risk of something going on. So I was like, yeah, nah. But
what's the difference of attending a sex party than doing something like going on a dating app like Jack or Grindr or whatever your choice of dating app is. It's like it's the same in game in a lot of ways, don't you think?
That's well, I mean, that's true. That's true. But I feel like with like Jacked or like Grinder, like I feel like you have the opportunity of being a little bit more transparent and communicating more, because like with the sex party, it's just like you're there and you're already vulnerable because you're naked, and it's just like you can't sit down, have a conversation and like really like get to know people before you actually do it. At least with Jack, you could talk and like, you know, like find stuff out before you end up doing something, unless you're that type that just gets on there and just, you know, is looking to have sex, you know, like in that moment.
From what people tell me, 'cause I wouldn't know. but from what people tell me, it's like when you get on Jacked in particularly, like they're not really looking for conversations. They're like, you know, fuck with me if you want to do something, or else don't talk to me, like type situation, which I think is weird because I remember a day and time where you could go online and you can actually chat with people and like get to know people. For me, like sex is always better when you know the person you're doing it with,
right,
as opposed to it just being random. Because I'm the type of person where it's like you'll meet up with somebody and you know things that happen, and then next thing you know you slide in, and like if I slide like right in like with no like resistance, like my brain started thinking like, oh my god, is this the community bottom? Like,
right.
like, I don't know. Then I'll like immediately have regrets, like a lot. And then a lot of times, like when you are like hooking up with like random people, like the sex isn't good.
Right, that's true.
And then like halfway through, I'd be like, shit, I could have just jacked off and accomplished the same thing.
It'd be some people who really like think that their sex is so good, like because they do it a lot, and I'd be like, you might have to reevaluate yourself. Like I don't know what you thought, but
you know the funniest thing people say is like, you be like, you will ask them like some question, they'll be like, well, I never get no complaints, as if there's like a complaint box to be left. Like, is there a complaint box where I could just leave complaints on you or something like that? Like, of course you're not gonna get complaints. People are not gonna be like, how was the sex? Oh, that was trashy.
Me personally, if I don't know you, I'm not gonna tell you if your sex was bad. I'm gonna spare your feelings and just never talk to you again. Right.
And so my premise is that if you're always on Jacked and you always have to find a new hookup partner, then maybe your sex isn't good because you don't have no repeat clients. Like your customers are leaving and going somewhere else. That's just the way I see it. And so yeah, the complaint box is empty, but you just don't have no referrals and you don't have nobody coming back. And so that speaks a lot more to me. So I just always find that interesting. But I'm sure on campuses it's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Oh yeah, and you'll meet all types of like people, like sexually. Like I don't know how to describe what I'm gonna say, but like, you know, like you'll meet all different types of freaks. Like I know like this. Okay, now this is kind of going into like straight community, because I remember I was talking to this one girl and she was talking about how she like had went to a sex party, and like somebody was telling me this story about another girl. She had went to a sex party, and this girl is like, she's like a goody like the I study at night type stuff. And like somebody told me she had went to a sex party and just got a train ran on her, and I was just like, bro, like, because like it's like what people fail to realize, because a lot of people, especially like black people, because you know, I'm not trying to say nothing about I'm not trying to speak for the whole, you know, black community, but like a lot of people don't, you know, travel and like don't know a lot of people outside of like, you know, their little culture or like what their region or whatever. So it's like when you have a chance to like experience like people from all over the place, it's like you be seeing some outlandish stuff, you know, in your book, but like it'd be so normal to like to them because it's, you know, it's their way of life or whatever. So it's like you just be seeing all types of stuff going on. You be like, dang, like wow, but like in reality, it's like nah, like people be doing stuff.
Right. No, that's super cool. I find it really cool that you majored in film, especially when it comes to the new blog. We really want to focus on providing a place where people can, explore their creativity and create cool articles, videos, even like movies or film strips or whatever, and provide an avenue for people to display their creativity.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do notice is like, because like a lot of times you'll go on like Tumblr, for example, and it's like you have like all these like new pictures and stuff like that, and you could view it as a bad thing. It's like all these people, they just want to post naked pictures and stuff like that. And for me, it's like, especially when it comes to like these fan only or Connect Pal accounts and stuff like that, for me, it's like, I think a lot of people want to express their creativity, even if it's in a sexual way, and to create cool content that may be a little bit taboo.
Right.
And I think that's cool. I think a lot of gay people, whether they're gay or not, or bisexual or whatever, have a lot of creativity. And I want the new blog to be a place where people can, express that creativity.
Right. And I think, honestly, that's what, like, I think we need a little bit more of that, and that's one reason why I like Tumblr so much, is because they appreciate like all forms of content, because it's like, the world, like, we like to, I don't know, like, we like to like dismiss a lot of things or demonize a lot of things that we may deem as taboo or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like, it's like, it's art, like these naked pictures and stuff like that. Like, it's just expression, it's self-expression, and you can't give somebody a Nobel Peace Prize or whatever prize it is for like a Picasso painting, but then shame somebody for like recording like a naked video or whatever, because it's all self-expression, like.
But not only that, like way back in the caveman times where they were having hieroglyphics and stuff like that, they were still painting pictures of naked bodies. Back in the Roman eras, where you see all these statues and stuff with the guy with the little penis and the little balls, little nutsack or whatever, the little tallywhacker, like they were still like painting naked pictures. The Michelangelo, the statue of Michelangelo, he's butt ass and naked,
right?
And so to pretend like this stuff is new or taboo because sex is like one of the handful of things that everybody have in common. Is like we all are sexual beings, and our body actually is designed to push people towards having sex. You just have to be able to be smart enough to do it in a responsible way.
Exactly.
But sex by itself just isn't very taboo. But with that being said, would love to have you on as part of the new blog, and for you to help use your creativity and your film work and stuff like that to create some awesome content, not only for yourself but for our viewers as well.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like I have a lot to contribute or whatever, and I already have some pretty good ideas for the blog or whatever.
No, that's totally awesome. And anybody else out there who's interested in participating, you can always go on the website. This is thenewblog.com. You can always apply to be a content creator.
Come on, apply.
Definitely. And we're always looking for people to do podcasts and the new shows, or post articles and post stories and kind of things like that. So you're definitely always welcome to go and check out the website and definitely become part of the crew. All right, so with that being stated, thank you for joining us today, Neiko.
It was my pleasure.
All right, and check us out for our next show. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to the TNB Fans Only Show. Share your experience, give your opinion, allow your voice to be heard. If you want to be on the podcast or become a content creator, visit thenudeblog.com/apply.